My name's Norman Kreisman. Today's July 27, 2015. After I graduated college and took some Kundalini yoga classes in a park in Tempe, Arizona. This is 1972. And I took Amrit at a Gurdwara in Southall, which is a section of London. And in 1980, I was really disillusioned with the teaching of Sikhism through Kundalini yoga, and I really wanted to experience Sikhism from its source. I went to India in 1980 and connected with Baba Nahal Singh and stayed about 6 months with him, and I just needed a bigger experience. So he took me to Amritsar and set me up in a room in Guru Nanak Nivas, and I taught English at a nearby high school, and I also, in exchange for teaching English, one of the teachers at the high school taught me Punjabi. Sant Jarnail Singh and his men moved to Guru Nanak Nivas, and at first they said, "We need this whole floor, you need to move." And I said, "Look, I've been here for a while, I'm really kind of comfortable, and I'm not going to bother anybody," and actually talked to him, and he said, "Sure, stay." So I stayed, and my room was right next to Sant Jarnail Singh's room. Sant Jarnail Singh was an imposing figure. People came to him with real problems, and he would help them. And he wasn't taking money, and it wasn't a business, and so he came across as very authentic. He was very sincere. So Sant Jarnail Singh's men were very dedicated, and then I started doing seva with them at night at the Golden Temple and at the Kaltakit. We took langar on the roof of Guru Nanak Nivas, and Sanchi would be there on his charpot. So my perspective is 180 degrees different than the common explanation. The common explanation is he was there as a refuge to avoid being arrested and using it as a base to go out at night and do these terrorist attacks. He wasn't going out and killing Hindus. And it's all a government fabrication to do what they wanted to do. And he wasn't hiding at the Golden Temple. He was there to protect it, because you didn't have to be a mind reader to know that it was only a matter of time until the government did something. And so if he was political, it was only political in the sense that the gurus were political. And the reason that we were always in trouble with whoever was running the place was because the teachings were contra to their agenda. Because the teachings were really pure and emphasized the equality of people and the dignity of people, and to respect one another and to respect one another's beliefs and way of life. And Sant Jarnail Singh was complaining about what's going on in Punjab, and it was legitimate concern because it was really happening. And if it was political, it was only because it was politicized. So that's what it was like. And then what happened was you could see slowly the city being taken over by the government, by government troops. And even, is it the RSS? These guys marched right in front of the clock tower of the Golden Temple. We were standing and we were shouting against them. We were shouting, "Doti Topi Jamna Par, and the police did nothing. In fact, what the police did was they were taking pictures, not of the RSS, but of Punjabis, counter demonstration. So it was clear, it was all setting it up, setting up this confrontation, and planning on using it as an excuse. And they did. So I was there 80, 81, 82, 83. Beginning of 84, things started getting heavy. We were on the roof of Guru Nanak Nivas, and these bullets went flying over our head, and there was some sniper or something at a building behind us on the roof shooting at us. So that wasn't made up. I remember we all hit the floor, and luckily no one got hurt or something, but I'm not even sure if they intended to, or if it was just a warning that we have you in our sights. This was probably, I would say, January 1984, maybe December 1983, and that's when I was told to leave, and I took a train to Delhi, and then I flew back here. What the explanation given to me was, if there was any danger, the government didn't want a foreigner caught in the middle of this, having to explain to the United States why one of their citizens got killed. Right. They wanted me out of there. I was a liability that they didn't need, and they wanted me out. So when the invasion occurred, I think the first thing was this this report on 60 Minutes. What you learn is that reporters don't really get it. And so it was really, at one point it was kind of neat seeing it, but at another point it was like really off base, and it was really not very informative or helpful. And the thing is, if they could be this wrong about something you know about, couldn't they also be wrong about stuff you don't know about?
Absolutely.
So why would you trust these reporters? I was there. I'm not making this up. And I saw it. And I know that the government propaganda is very different than what really happened. And you don't have to look too far in history to see that this is a standard technique. It's called false flag. And if you remember, the way Hitler became in power was he and his men burnt down the Reichstag, which was their government, and they blamed the communists. So it's really not that unique or unusual for a government to create this false flag and blame other people for it in order to further their own agenda. I really have hope in the future now, because I think the younger generation understands the Battle of Amritsar and who fought it and why it was fought and why it's not over.